Yeah, I love that question. And I have to say, one of the things is when when we talk about our past and where we come to, it all sounds so linear and it all sounds so logical. But like what I would just to reassure a lot of people, the way I ended up getting where I am, it's a lot of happy accidents, it's a lot of mistakes, it's a lot of things that I did one way and went, oops, that's really not for me. Um, so I would say that in terms of that, it is multi-eventual. I think the thing that's been helped my success factor a lot of years is just when you fall down and when you hit a roadblock, figuring out, what is another way? And
Mm.
it hasn't always come easily to me. Um, but yeah, like so for instance, when I ended up, we talked about how I got into project management and where I switched from like my IT career to going into banking, for instance. I had been in IT consulting. I'm going to date myself. We were in the middle of Y2K. There was a lot of Y2K projects. Suddenly, all those projects dried up, and suddenly, as a consultant, I wasn't being kept very busy, and I was really frustrated. And it really changed things. And then I ended up with this opportunity through a former coworker to switch into banking. I don't know that I would have taken that change if it hadn't been for the fact I was really a dead end in the other job, because I knew nothing about banking. And basically, this person who brought me in said, "Look, you know nothing about banking, but I know we work well together, and you'll figure it out." And I think sometimes you hit a wall, and it gives you that confidence to just say, "Okay, I'm going to just do my best." I don't think I would have done it if I hadn't been at that point where I was at a wall. But in retrospect, it was the best thing I ever did. Likewise, when my banking, I ended up as part of a layoff after the end of my banking career, which I think a lot of people can relate to. It was tough. I'd been in that job a long time. I'd been there 11 years. I was just immersed in that company. I hadn't been entirely happy the whole time, but it's just really hard to leave. That thing of being laid off and having your roots ripped out, was what enabled me to switch gears again. Uh, and just to like in terms of a lot of people going through that, I mean, it's tough. I had a lot of friends from that company. My identity was tied up in that company. Um, I had gotten certified as a project manager there, doing Six Sigma, but at the same time, I'd kind of not moved because it was just too easy to stay. So once I got over the grief, and there is grief, it's like, hey, you know what? I want to do something totally different because this is an opportunity. And that's when I went to PMI, my professional organization, and met people who were teaching project management. And all of a sudden I went, you know what? I actually was doing public speaking and training in my job. I never thought of that as a job, but why not? And again, it's that having, you know, like hitting a dead end and then realizing, hey, that's a top opportunity to do something new. So I would just say, in terms of when I look back, I am sort of grateful for those situations that I think at the time felt terrible. Like it felt like a loss, a terrible roadblock. And yet at the same time, if I just kind of like fell into job and it just worked out, boy, I think I might not have tried all these other things. So yeah, that's what I would just say. And yeah, I feel very fortunate to have had a lot of multidimensionality in my career. I think you were asking how that helps me when I work with other people. And I think the thing that's really helpful, it makes, and we talk about authenticity, when I work with a lot of adults who are adult learners, pivoting their careers, former military, or people in sort of trying to figure out what to do next and can they switch. I mean, because
Mm.
I've really made some major changes in my life and I've been there and it hasn't been easy for me either, but I did it. It really puts me in a place of being very empathetic, but also saying, hey, I'm not just saying it because I'm saying it. I'm saying it because I was in your shoes and I did it too.